Hey, everybody, James Shepard here. I want to talk to you about why you should not get a payment processing statement analyzed. Now, this is kind of a weird topic for me to cover since I'm the founder and CEO of ISOAMP, which is the leader in full service statement analysis and proposal creation in our industry right now. We do thousands of statements a month. I actually just put a post up on LinkedIn showing one day, it was 2 days ago, where we did 190 statements. And I just kind of showed a report of like how that broke down. And so I'm in the statement analysis business, right? So why am I talking about when you should not analyze a statement? Well, look, it's no secret, flat rate pricing, cash discounting are incredibly popular right now. And so I think it's a good time for our industry to hit the pause button and say, what's the deal with statement analysis? Like, is that even necessary anymore? When is it necessary? When is it not necessary? And so I want to kind of dispel some of the common myths around this and just talk about when it's the right time, when it's not the right time. So first of all, let's talk about, for just a second, let's talk about margin, okay? Margin. And I also want to kind of throw card mix into this. Now, let me say also here, this does come from our weekly merchant sales insight. And so if you go to getisoamp.com, we'll have it posted up there where you can read the most recent edition of the merchant sales insight. But, first of all, I want to talk about margin and card mix. So when people think about statement analysis, the two big misconceptions, I think, is number one, they believe that it's always about savings. A lot of times it's about margin. In the merchant sales insight this week, we talk about a client of ours that uses our statement analysis service, and they were doing an analysis for a merchant that was going from Interchange Plus to compliant surcharging. With compliant surcharging, you're passing the cost of processing credit cards on to the consumer, but you're still charging the merchant for the signature debit and PIN debit. Well, they reached out and said, hey, we got the proposal back. It's not right. Your system is wrong. And I'm like, that's unlikely. Let me take a look. And so when we looked at it, this merchant had a really low average ticket size, and they happened to do a lot of signature debit. And even though they were eliminating the credit card processing fees, the signature debit fees were going to kind of, overwhelm that. And it was not going to be any savings for the merchant. But in that case, there was still margin there, right? So that was good. Their margin was there, but you weren't going to sell it because you weren't going to save the merchant any money. On the flip side, we have others. I have one I was thinking about, that a large coffee shop. And there was a newer agent with one of our processing clients, and they used our quick analysis tool. So they didn't even use they didn't upload a statement. They just put in total volume, total fees, average ticket, and they hit create proposal. And they said, wait a minute, the margin is like negative whatever, Well, why? Because they were trying to do cash discounting at 3.84% flat rate. And the interchange cost alone on that particular statement, on that particular merchant, the interchange cost alone was over 4%, because they're doing, $4 and $5 average ticket sizes, right? And a lot of debit. And so, understanding the margin and the card mix is crucial many times. Now, let's talk about this and be honest here, right? If I'm going to go into a physical location merchant that's doing $25 to $100 average ticket, and I'm going to sell them cash discounting at 4% or flat rate pricing at 3.75 or something, do I really need to do a statement analysis there? No, you really don't. Now, you might still want to create a proposal that looks really professional, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But you really don't need a statement analysis. So you don't need a statement analysis when margin and card mix and savings and all that just really doesn't matter. But again, most of the time it matters, right? Now, let's talk about a topic that's a little bit closer to kind of what we would consider traditional payment processing. And that is, you don't need to worry about analyzing a statement when interchange padding and interchange optimization are not an issue, right? So, one reason you might not analyze a statement anymore is because, again, it's flat rate, or you're doing cash discounting, and it's an account where you really don't need to be concerned too much about the margin or the card mix. You also wouldn't need to do one if you say, hey, I've got a QuickBooks statement and I'm going to match their current rate or go a little bit less. I mean, maybe you want to see the margin, maybe you want to do a proposal, but there's no interchange optimization or padding there because we don't have an interchange table. But when you have a statement with an interchange table, you really want to get a statement analysis done on that. Let me explain why. Interchange optimization is where you can take the same merchant processing the same way, but send through a little bit more data, which can be automated through a lot of gateways now. And you can actually have a lower cost of processing. And you say, well, James, I don't care about a lower cost of processing. I'm doing cash discounting. I'm doing flat rate. Do you care about making more money? Well, if the merchant's paying $1,000 a month in fees and you sell them on cash discounting and their cost of interchange is $800 and you can take that cost down to $700, you just create an extra $100 in monthly margin, right? So interchange optimization, if you have an interchange table, lowering the cost of interchange and realizing that that's available is a big deal. Interchange padding is even more common than interchange optimization, even because interchange optimization is usually around, business to business transactions. Well, if you can, find that, hey, they're marking up interchange. We had one just a few days ago, big merchant account. And our client was like, hey, can you take a look at this for me? Because I don't see any processing fees at all. All I see is this interchange table. And I'm like, our team was like, yeah, it is just an interchange table, but they're marking every interchange category up by 60 basis points. Well, you're not going to just notice that, right off the bat, if you're not a trained, a statement analysis expert. Fortunately for us, our system just automatically says, look at the interchange table. We know what the true cost is. So we identify that padding, and then we even show that in a special section on most of our proposal templates. Our clients have us outline that in a little box, a table that says, here's what you're currently paying for your interchange category. Here's what you should be paying with optimization and padding, taken into account, right? So again, optimization and padding is a great reason to have a statement analyzed. Finally, number 3, the last one I just want to talk to you about in this video. And again, there's a lot more context in this week's edition of the Merchant Sales Insight. You can check that out. You definitely want to look at this because I got a lot more information in there. But, think about proposal creation. This is one of those myths, I think, is, everybody thinks that in order to do kind of statement analysis and kind of the old version of it, well, obviously you have to have a statement. Well, actually, no, you don't. Okay. Common misconception here. So if you want to get a perfect side-by-side to the penny analysis, yes, upload a statement analysis, and that's great. But with our system that we created, we recognize that a lot of times it's just too early in the sales process to get a statement, or you just don't want to get one at all. I'm thinking about, one of our largest clients. They do hundreds of proposals a month. They have a telemarketing room that only sells cash discounting over the phone. So you're thinking, wait a minute, why are they using your system? Well, obviously they're not asking for a processing statement because you don't want to do that when you're selling cash discounting over the phone. That's an unnecessary roadblock in the sales process. But what they are doing is they're just asking the client for a little bit of information. Hey, what's your total volume? What's your average ticket size? What's your total fees? They key that into our quick analysis feature, which we include, by the way, for free for all of our paying clients. There's no extra cost for that. You're just paying for the ones where you upload a statement. But they just put in a little bit of information and they instantly create a beautiful proposal that they had us custom create for them. And they can either text or email that directly to the merchant. And so again, maybe you want to upload a statement and in a few minutes, you want to get back a detailed line by line analysis that's got optimization and padding and, again, to the penny stuff. But even if you don't do that, maybe you want to just key in a little bit of information, key in a few fees from the statement, key in the total volume, or, you can put as little or as much information as you want. Literally, if all you know is the total volume, you can put just that in. That's enough. We can use that. Okay. So put a little bit of information in there and you just want to instantly create something. So either way, the idea is when you're selling merchant services, you do want a beautiful professional proposal. This is 2022. Merchants expect a little more than your, handwriting on their statement or on the back of an envelope or a napkin. Give them something professional. Again, whether you upload a statement or not, either way, we work with our clients to make custom proposal templates that really match what they're already using or what they wish they were using. And that way it's an easy thing. So again, I really appreciate taking time to watch this video. I'd love to get your thoughts below. When do you analyze statements? Have you kind of stopped analyzing statements? Maybe some of the thoughts here have got you going, but if you want to learn more about ISOAMP or get a free demo, just go to www.getisoamp.com, GETISOAMP, getisoamp.com, and check out this week's edition of the Merchant Sales Insight and get a free demo.